When you sell, start high, and when you buy, start low with your offer. We often hear that today, and there is a reason for it. Let me talk to you today about Batna and Watna, Zopa, and RP during negotiations. To make it easy, I will illustrate this in a graph where you can see the representation and the numbers. We have a seller asking to sell for 160,000, his asking price, and we have a prospective buyer who's putting an offer as 120,000 to start with. Aim high when you start selling and aim low when you offer your first price. In the graph, you will see an area of prominence or interest between buyer and seller as indicated. I've named it ZOPA, the zone of possible agreement. It is between 120,000 and 140,000. ZOPA exists when the buyer allowable acceptable maximum price is greater than the seller minimum accepted price. Next is Batna, the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In this example, it's a range between 120 and 140 for both the seller and buyer. And I say it's a range. The lowest is 120 and the highest is 140. Through negotiations, they need to meet at a sweet spot within that range, and that spot must be a win-win, of course, for both. When both seller and buyer enter into negotiations, they need both to prepare very well and have a clear view of their Batna range and minimums. The range of Batna depends on many elements that affect the deal, such as ego, cost, opportunity, pressure, financial situation, monopoly, and all that. Always try to discover the Batna of the other party. Do not give away your Batna to them. What is RP? RP is the reservation price. It's the point beyond which the seller is no more interested in selling and the buyer is no more interested in offering prices. In our example, the RP for the seller is 120, below which he will not go, and for the buyer is 140, beyond which he will not pay. Clearly, RP is equal to Batna plus or minus several other parameters mentioned earlier. What is Watna? In our example, it will be anything below 120,000 or anything above 140,000 for the buyer. We will call the 120 and 140 respectively RPs. Watna is always less than the RP for the seller, greater than the RP for the buyer. And now that we are confused enough, let's talk a little bit for a minute about fixed and variable. A fixed is something that cannot be discussed in the ZOPA. And a variable is something that can surely be discussed, on which we can use concessions. But there is a trick about concessions in the ZOPA. Do not give concessions frequently. And do not be the first one to give concessions, because giving concessions could be an indication of your weakness or how much eager and hungry you are for the deal. When we talk about fixes and variables for each party, examples could be price, examples of that could be delivery, terms of payment, warranty, or anything related. When we talk about concessions, we trade them reluctantly. We do not give them away, and we always ask for something in return. Plan your concessions in negotiations around your variables and make sure to highlight the value of the variable to your other party, even though it might not cost you too much. Being smart in the preparation and the way you present your variables could be one way to get your deal locked. So preparation is crucial in negotiations. And when we say out-prepare the other party in negotiations to be effective, it's very important because it's not about out-winning them, but it's about out-preparing them.